Welcome back, everybody, to It Resolves, where we play a new deck every single day. Today's deck is Grixis Aggro. What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another standard gameplay video. I hope you guys are doing exceptionally well today. We have, for the last couple days, gone through some of the deck lists that have been in the top 8 of the new Capenna Championship, and today we're going to continue that with a Grixis Aggro list that actually placed 4th at the hands of Mike Sigrist. Mike has been a professional player for as long as I can remember, an absolute blast to watch. So congratulations, Mike. I believe you placed 4th. Congratulations to you, my friend. That is amazing. We're going to take a look at the deck today. Now, again, as I have said in the previous couple videos, we are taking a deck that was created for traditional standard and throwing it into best of 1 standard. It's important to denote that that makes a huge difference with these kinds of lists, but I want to see where these land. What you'll notice, or at least what I have noticed in these deck lists, is that they actually hold up pretty well even in best of 1 still, despite being more tuned for the traditional standard route. Now, these are well tooled out decks. These are decks that have been thought through by pro players, and so you're getting a lot of things, and you'll notice even in this deck list, especially in the 1-drop slot, you've got all these little 1-ofs and things like that. We're not going to get to see any of the sideboard, but if you take this into traditional standard, you'll notice that it's well tooled out in the sideboard as well for a lot of different matchups. And so just some things to keep in mind as we're jumping in, that this isn't necessarily made for what we're sending it into. However, I do think it's well tooled out. Now, this is the Grixis aggro list, so we've got a lot of very aggressive 2 and 3 drops in particular. We do have the Tenacious Underdog. This is just a great recursive threat. Being able to bring it back with that blitz cost from the graveyard is phenomenal. Bloodthirsty Adversary, obviously a powerful card, and does give us access to some of these instant speed spells from our graveyard, which is really nice, just to be able to kind of push through a little bit of an extra removal spell or something like that so we can get more damage in. Bloodtithe Harvester, obviously a great addition for the deck. A lot of times what we'll see is this trade off with something pretty early on, or it gets in for the attack depending on the matchup. So if it's a lack of or very creature heavy matchup, I'll trade this off really quickly just so we can get something off the board and continue the onslaught that we are trying to accomplish, because again, we are the aggressive deck. We do have Meathook Massacre. This deals with opposing white decks obviously extraordinarily well. The goal is to not lose very quickly, and so Meathook Massacre certainly helps us out there. In the 3-drop slot, we do have Corpse Appraiser, which is kind of a nice card. You can exile a card from a graveyard as you play it. If you do exile a card that way, you get to look at the top 3 cards of your deck, put 1 into your hand, the other 2 into the graveyard. So it actually fuels itself, so the more of these you get, you can potentially get more stuff into the graveyard, but it also just replaces itself in your hand. So while it's not card advantage, it's also not card disadvantage. It's card neutral, which is really important in an aggro deck to be able to maintain momentum. And so this really, really helps you out there. Fable of the Mirror Breaker, of course, is a great option. We do have Kaito Shizuki, a great way to get an unblockable creature down that we can keep attacking with and then continuously draw an extra card off of Kaito. Again, works perfectly for keeping that momentum up as we go. Another removal spell here is Soul Transfer. Very, very nice at exiling creatures or planeswalkers, which is obviously important, or returning a creature or planeswalker from our graveyard to our hand. If you have an artifact and enchantment, you actually get to cast both, which isn't unlikely. We do have Fable, which does, that is an enchantment, plus we do get blood tokens off of the Harvester. So again, there are some opportunities there that you can do that, as well as, I guess, treasure tokens, too. But in the 4 and 5 drop slot, we do have a single Sorin, again, that we can potentially bring back with the Soul Transfer. And then Evelyn the Covetous, which is kind of an interesting card. It's a 2/5 for 5 mana. It does have flash, so you can flash her out, which is kind of cool. When it or another vampire enters the battlefield under your control, exile the top card of each player's library with a collection counter on it. Once each turn, you can play a card from exile with a collection counter on it if it was exiled by an ability you controlled, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast it. So the idea is that we're, again, keeping the momentum. We want to have plays every single turn. This helps us get there. Everything else is basically just interactive pieces. Again, to jump back to the 1-drop slot, we do have the Voltage Surge with the Infernal Grasp. Ray of Enfeeblement is obviously a popular choice right now because a lot of people are really hating on white. I think if I were to tech this deck out for best of one, I wouldn't necessarily use Ray, but it is quite good. Duress, of course, as a one-of, and then Spell Pierce. All of these give us options to pull back with the adversary as well. So that is the deck. Again, Mike Sigrist did a great job of putting this one together. We're going to send this through a few games, guys. Hopefully have a blast with it. I'm curious to see how it lands. Again, best of one coming from traditional standard, so keep that in mind as we go. Let's jump into game one. All right, guys, here we are for game number 1. And yeah, I mean, this is a pretty easy keep. We do need blue mana, but we do have a Duress into a Bloodtithe Harvester. And worst case scenario, that blood token might help us get where we're trying to go with the lands. So let's go ahead. I'm going to just turn 1 Duress. I don't see a reason not to. This is going to be the most optimal time, I would imagine. Don't love any of these. I think it's Binding of the Old Gods, though. The rest of their hand is fine, and the Diregraph Rebirth obviously is going to be quite good, but I don't think we're not going to be able to get both copies of those, and so I'd rather go ahead and pull something that's going to remove something on our end. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's Bloodtithe Harvester. Again, still hoping for a blue source. If we can get that down, that Kaito could come down feasibly next turn. The Corpse Appraiser is also very good in this matchup, potentially. So that's very, very helpful. Let's attack first. There's no reason to not attack that I can think of. We'll play lands. I think we just Bloodtithe Harvester again. Wow. All right, so we do get to leave one of these up, which is quite nice. Depends on what we want to discard here, though. There's the Mulch. Nice. They did get Vorinclex plus Titan. Both of those are very good. I think we're going to have to do this. And I think I will just get the adversary out of there. We desperately need a land. So, a blue land. Unfortunately, that's not a blue land. Okay. Well, first things first, let's go ahead and attack. Yes. Trying to think what the best option is here. So we can just Fable, which does set up a blue land the upcoming turn, just with the treasure token. However, they obviously can just blow up the enchant, or the, I think I go this route, though. I'm not super stoked on this. The lack of blue mana has really hindered our game plan here, obviously, so this is not great. They do have a Tamiyo's safekeeping as well, so something to keep in mind here. There is the Diregraph Rebirth. Curious to see what they actually hit here. Okay, so they did shield counter it. Discard up to 2, huh? So I think Kaito is actually gone for the game. It might be Sorin as well, actually, or just the Kaito. It could be just one or the other. Yeah, let's do this. I mean, it's a land. It's not exactly what we were hoping for. So. I'm trying to think what the best option is here. So we could feasibly get rid of some stuff. Alright, so let's do a couple of things here. The trick is they have another Diregraph Rebirth in there. Alright, so hear me out. I know this seems odd, just trust me. They're obviously just going to block and kill some stuff, that's fine. We're going to get to kill the Titan of Industry here, though. Alright, so if we do this, we don't have to submit anything. Now that just dies. Excellent. Now this has no token on it. think we wait. No, we can't wait, can we? Because they do have the Tamiyo's safekeeping. I'm going to play this out for the land because it does allow us the Sorin. This is all temporary because they just have another Diagraph Rebirth. Okay, they're just going to play the Vorinclex. Kind of an interesting play because they don't get to leave up the safekeeping here. But I'm kind of okay with that. Is Sorin really worth it at this point? We'll see. Okay. There's that blue mana we've been looking for. So I think we have to do this just to get rid of the Titan. And we do get to pull this, which is helpful-ish. So there is a world where we block and are able to make something happen here. I'm gonna attack with the Shaman. Don't see a reason not to. We're not dead yet, so that's helpful. So basically what we've done is done our best to make the Diagraph Rebirths like relatively dead cards. So, yeah, I'm trying to think if we can do anything about this. No. Oh, yeah, we actually can. Oh, no, we can't. We have to wait and see if they play anything else, but they, I'm sure, will not. Okay. They didn't attack, though. Alright, so I am going to make them burn. See, here's the thing. We kind of have to let them burn the... I actually think it's the treasure token. We kind of want them to burn the Tamiyo's safekeeping here. So I'm going to force the issue and allow them that opportunity. But the idea is that basically now they don't have a protection spell, so if we draw a removal spell of any kind, we have the answer. And we did draw it. So the question becomes, do we play the Sorin or do we just wait and kill that? I think we wait and kill that. Okay. Is this instant speed? No, it's sorcery. So I'm gonna take this actually. So hear me out. There's a way in which we get to do some fun stuff. Oh, we just die. Well, that's stupid. I didn't even think about that. All right, so my thought process was a reasonable one. The idea was that we could attack in, or basically kill that, and then... Oh, we don't just die. Totally. No, we do. Okay. My thought was we could then exile the Vorinclex, but I realized they also have 2 Vorinclexes, so... it is what it is. We put up a good fight, actually. That was kind of a difficult matchup. All good, though. Let's jump into game 2. What's up, guys? Before we jump into the next game, I just want to remind you, if you would like to pick up this month's Patreon rewards, feel free to do so at patreon.com/itresolves. All right, guys, here we are for game number 2, and yeah, this is pretty easy keep. We've got Duress, we've got Voltage Surge, we've also got the Meathook Massacre, so if we happen to be against an aggressive deck, we're great. If we are against a control deck, at least we have Duress. And honestly, Voltage Surge could be helpful. It could deal with the Planeswalker, maybe. All right, so let's go ahead and turn 1 Duress. Again, there's really not a huge reason not to do this. Oh. Fun. All right, well, this is going to be a really not fun matchup. Reanimator is very popular right now, everybody. At least we got the Invoke Justice out. There's the Thrilling Discovery. Yeah, this is going to be a rough one. Very, very rough one. Okay. No, actually, I think we can just, yeah, do that. All right. Well, here's to hoping, guys. This is going to be a long game because we really don't get to do much at this point. Soul Transfer is not bad, actually. This exiles a creature, which is obviously quite relevant, so we'll see. They did get both Vorinclex and Velomachus, I hope I'm saying that right, in the graveyard, so that's a little scary. Let's go ahead and play the red source, or the blue source, wow. And I am going to go ahead and Fable. I feel like there's not a big reason not to. They're going to be able to play the gold dragon here, but we do want to get treasure tokens going, so that's pretty important for us. Excuse me. Okay. They're going to go ahead and Cathartic Fire. That's fine. Not great, but it's cool. I assume they just play the gold dragon. Yeah. Which we can just kill with Meathook Massacre if we so choose. Yeah. The good news and bad news here is we do have removal, but it's just sometimes a bit tricky to get to. I do kind of think the Surge is a little less good right now, so I'm just going to dig a bit further into the deck. Let's go ahead and play this. Do we go ahead and and Meathook? I think so. I don't really want this sticking around for very long. It's just a really powerful lifelinker that I feel like we can't let stay on the battlefield. And I don't want to exile with the Soul Transfer. I'd rather exile something like a Vorinclex. Okay. We do kind of want to get the Hive going. That would be important. Now I kind of wish we had the Voltage Surge because we have something to sacrifice. I'm gonna play this, and I'm gonna go for this. Here's my thing. What we might be able to do is start attacking with the Hive of the Eye Tyrant and start exiling stuff from the graveyard. As long as they don't have the Invoke Justice, which I think they would have played last turn. What did they discard here? Okay. So they can't play it this turn. That's helpful. They do have 4 mana available, but they don't have... Okay. That's annoying for sure, but that's not the end of the world. So down to 2 cards, maybe 1. Wow, they have got tons of removal here. Okay. I mean, our game plan is, it's gonna have to be this, just so we can get rid of cards in the graveyard here, essentially. The question is, which cards do we get rid of? I hate all of them, but I think it's the Vorinclex that we take first. Yeah. I mean, I don't think we have a better option. This is really our only hope, is to exile everything important to them and hope they don't draw. I'm kind of surprised they haven't... Oh, they just have one. Oh, cool. Alright, so let's do this. And we'll throw this back just to see what we get. That's not helpful. Okay, well now, I mean, we're pretty much dead because they're probably going to get an Invoke Justice out of this. Yep. And so now they get to return the adult gold dragon, whatever it is. Yep. So that's not good. And it's a 9/9 now. Okay. Cool. And this has vigilance. Yeah, that's a good game. Man, 2 losses in a row. Let's go for a third game, guys. Let's see if we can get a win. All right, guys, here we are for our third game. Definitely our last game. This is an interesting hand. If we get 1 land of basically any color, we're fine. Nah, I feel like we can't keep that. I guess I'll keep this. Yeah, we'll give this a shot. Not overly optimistic, but we'll try it. Hive was actually not a bad draw. Just because, 1, it comes down untapped, so we don't have to, you know, make a choice on our pathways, but it's also just a good solid land. Let's do that. So we've got Infernal Grasp up. This is Esper, so this could be a lot of different things. Esper is so good right now, it's ridiculous. All right. Suspicious Stowaway, huh? Yeah, I mean, I think I just go for the kill here. I don't see a big reason not to. Duress isn't bad. I think I go for the Kaito, though. While they've got nothing on the field, Kaito's quite good because we can throw this out, start hopefully getting attacks in. Next turn, we have got Corpse Appraiser plus the Duress, and the Appraiser can just kill the Stowaway. Okay. Oh no, excuse me. We don't necessarily have that because... Oh, we do have the black land. Okay. Yeah, so let's do this. I'm gonna go ahead and Duress first. Okay, all these are terrible. I think it's just the Wandering Emperor, though. We will attack in. Let's draw. Okay. And let's do this. We actually get to exile that Stowaway, which does make the Obscura Charm a little bit worse, which is nice. I think it's Bloodthirsty Adversary. This going into the graveyard's obviously not bad for us, but the Bloodthirsty Adversary gives us access to either Duress or Infernal Grasp, depending on how we need to do this. They can Obscura Charm the Kaito, which is kind of annoying, but again, we've kind of refilled a little bit here, so I'm not feeling terrible about this. We'll see. The ward cost is certainly annoying here. That's something we do have to consider, because we can't just freely pay an extra one. Like next turn we can drop this, pay the 3, get the Infernal Grasp, but then we have to actually... obviously we can't pay the 1s, so that doesn't really work. Okay. Sure. So they're gonna get Kaito out of there, which is great. I mean, it's a good card. Whenever you draw a card, target opponent loses it. I mean, that's pretty damn good. We'll see. Okay. I mean, one option is just to pay 2 life and get the Tenacious Underdog underway. Other option would be just to throw this out. I think regardless, or, I mean, I guess we could do this. I don't love that. I'm gonna do this. I'm not sure that this is the right call. And they certainly can just use Obscura Charm to get rid of something here, which is annoying, but fine. But I do think we need to keep the pressure up here, and this is a good way to do it. Okay, well, that's a great way to deal with the underdog. I can't believe they drew another Wandering Emperor. That was very good. All right. Unfortunate that they just drew that. I was kind of thinking we were in good shape to avoid it. I thought they were maybe leaving up the Obscura Charm. But hey, they got it. Okay. This is a very good little combo for anybody that didn't know, obviously. Oh no, the game froze. Oh no. All right, hold on. All right, sorry guys, the client just completely dipped, but we're back. So. I think we have to do this. I think we have to do, what is this at, 2? I unfortunately think it's this. As much as I don't want that to be the play. All right, so let's do this. Let's attack both here. All right, so not great, but we're back. Hopefully we can still do something here, but this Rafine is definitely a problem. There's not a lot we can do about that. And they actually just win next turn, so let's hope they can't. I'm trying to think. 3, 6, 7. Oh, and they just Meathook Massacre. Awesome. All right, so we, I think, are just going to get 3 straight losses, which is very unfortunate, but it's the way of the world. It happens. Let's do this. Yeah. All right. Very unfortunate, but we lost 3 games in a row. Let's talk about this. All right, guys. So more than any of the other decks, I think this one suffers from the moving from traditional standard to best of one pretty heavily. I think there's a lot of reasons why this doesn't necessarily work quite as well, because it's more tooled out to deal with the things that you would expect to see in best of, 3 or whatever. Now, all that to say, there are still some really good pieces here, but I think it makes sense that it didn't do as well as maybe the other ones did. This is less of obviously a goldfish deck as well, where you look at something like Hinata, and while Hinata is certainly not a goldfish deck, the game plan is pretty clear whether you're in best of one or you're in traditional standard, because you're trying to get Hinata down, you're trying to deal massive damage with Magma Opus, and it's kind of just a matter of picking your targets, whereas here there's obviously a lot of removal heavy stuff with Bloodtithe Harvester, which is either good or bad depending on the deck you're against. Obviously, in the case of the decks we were against, we had 2 Reanimator decks and a Rafine deck, both of which had high toughness, which makes Bloodtithe Harvester a much worse option. I mean, that's just the reality of it, because you have to have a couple of blood tokens at the very least to be able to deal with anything. And it just made it a little bit trickier. And so I think, we definitely had a couple of rough matchups. The Reanimator matchup is a difficult one. We did have a game plan, and we did start to execute that game plan against those decks, but it just didn't work as well. So it is what it is. You know what? We're not going to win every game. We're not always going to get an undefeated run, albeit we had some good luck earlier this week. But it's not going to happen every time, and that's the reality of it. Unfortunately, I'm not one to fake a game, so you guys don't get to see a win today. I'm sorry about it, but I'd rather be upfront and show you what the deck did. I will say Mike Sigrist obviously is a much better player than I am, and well done on that 4th place tournament. That was really, really good. So congratulations to you, Mike. That was awesome. And thank you guys for watching so much. I really do appreciate it. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I'll see you guys again very soon for some more gameplay videos. I'll talk to you then.